Uh, yes. So I think we should actually start with the marketing updates. I don't know if you have Kim around. Yes.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, awesome. Hi everyone. Welcome to the community all hands. As Kaze just said, we're hanging in world. So if you're able to jump into the Dow HQ 7219, I believe. Thank you, Jared, for the chords. We are all getting settled over there too, but we're recording this and excited to see you all here. So thank you. Slido, if you have questions, the team's dropping it into here and we will get started. Lots of really fun stuff to cover today. So I'm going to kick it off with marketing, then we'll go to some product updates, creator stuff, and Q&A. Okay, cool. So marketing updates. I know a lot of you have been asking about what we're doing for general marketing, how people are getting to know about Decentraland, and many of you, which I really appreciate, have been welcoming a lot of new users into the world. So shout out to all of you for doing that. Thank you so much. This is just a quick screenshot snap of some of the ads that are out in the world because I know you guys may not get to see them, but our top performing headline is Decentraland is a social virtual world where you can connect, explore, and create. We tested a bunch of different headlines. This one seems to be working best, but we will continue to test around. And then these are some of the ads. Kaze, can you click the first video? It should be like a 10-second loop. Basic. Super basic, just showing the in-world fun that's happening here. The second one, pretty similar. This one's not in-world, but just avatar movement and dancing. In-world tends to perform a little bit better, but we're doing this on YouTube Shorts. We're doing this type of stuff in Google Display ads. And we're seeing great results. So wanted to let you all know about that. We also have the big Decentraland beta is live. You don't have to play that one, Kaze, but just an FYI. I'm sure everyone has seen it, and if not, it's on our YouTube page too, but that's the launch video. And then we're doing a bunch of different messaging. So one is own your digital identity. One is faster performance, new features. That one only goes to like retargeting people that have been in Decentraland before or hold mana or things like that. And then earn daily badges and digital rewards, enticing those people that are looking for that gamification element. So that's kind of what's happening on the general ads front. So wanted to let you all know. The next slide really talks about our yeah, I get it. Over and over. um, this is just some honest learnings with you all. We did a few partnership tests. So we did some download ads on crypto focused websites. We learned those aren't the best fit, even though it probably is audience aligned. People just aren't clicking through directly. We did some content creation partnerships, mostly for Fashion Week. Those have been pretty good, so we'll keep testing that. And then streaming, we did a test with Party. Thank you for everyone for welcoming in the Party crew and being streamers on Party. So more coming there. We think there's a lot of untapped potential in the streaming world. So we know many of you are super involved there and love to see it. That is what's been happening kind of on the partnership front. We have other new partnership deals that we're super excited about that are going to continue flowing through in ways that we teach more people about Decentraland. One of them, if you want to go to the next slide, Kaze, that many of you have seen is Brave. We really have a super collaborative relationship with them that I'm loving. It's our first big ad partnership where we're doing high awareness and excitement. You all, I saw the support on social, so thank you for the home takeovers we did. There's actually going to be some more on May 30th, not a full takeover, but a partial. We have notifications and rewards walls. I've joined their community calls to just like talk to them more about Decentraland and really give that opportunity for everyone to ask questions. Yamel is going to be a podcast guest. I believe it's actually getting released today. So we'll let you know what that is. And then custom wearable for their community. You may start seeing that coming very soon. Rustan, your question on a home takeover. So for Brave, Yeah, if you opened Brave, the whole background turned to Decentraland, and we had 2 days where it was only Decentraland and, like, the Brave background, so it was a lot of fun. Those are typically, like, very high value to get, and it was part of a very collaborative conversation, so excited to see that. Um, Next page shows you just what those all kind of looked like. So we had 4 different versions of creative and they cycled through. Fashion Week is obviously done now, but just showing the idea was showing something that's explore, something that's more like social, creative. We all have our own identities, something that is reward and quest type focused, and then something that was an event. So those are the 3 different versions we are testing now. And then Fashion Week, we did do some ads for Fashion Week, wanted to show some of the cool stuff that was happening behind the scenes. So we did our teaser video, which I think most of you have seen at this point. Then we did these what we call value props. So why should you jump in? Free entry, front row access, iconic runways, giveaways, etc. Encouraging the download. We did some save the dates like way in advance of the event. And then if you could do the one at the bottom right, Kaze, it's a short one, just like a sneak peek into what the runway would be for everyone. And these were all super small little ads, but really got us a lot of traction onto the site. And then I'm excited to show our official recap video on the next slide. It was a really great event. Let's see if it'll. So, yeah, next slide, Kaze, and then you can hit play.
Papi, dame más duro. If you run with me, don't gotta worry, love.
So thank you everyone for joining Metaverse Fashion Week. We had a really great time. I loved all of the content we saw everywhere. So thank you to everyone that helped us gather content. We know this event was really key for showing everyone how awesome it is to be inside Decentraland, partying with you all, exploring with you all. So really, really appreciate that. Next slide is just a little bit high level about Fashion Week. You guys were very chatty and I love to see it. We had 33,000 chat messages sent, 7,000 minted free wearables. So everyone is looking amazing in Decentraland. 47 partners and collaborators. So really took kind of everyone from community to brand partners to speakers to make this happen. The runways, I mean, the community runways, just a highlight for so many of us. Excuse me. And really loved seeing all of you come together and do that live. So we know so much more is possible with the runways now that we've figured that out, which is awesome. 3 content contests that you all participated in. So thank you. And we did learn that we improved our D1, which is day 1 retention, and D7, day 7 retention. So if people came into Fashion Week as their first time, they are more likely to jump back in again than on a normal day. So really appreciate everyone working together and just having a really good time. I had a ton of fun. I hope you all had a ton of fun. Great content out there. And next is just highlight slides. So much of the fun stuff we saw on social, so I appreciate that. Next slide, Kaze, is here just about what's coming next. So obviously we've had a lot of events this year. We did Builder Trail, we did Birthday, live music, Fashion Week. So next we have Prom and PJ Party. So that information is coming. Have a blog post out in the next few days with more info for that. We have the LAN party. There's a slight date change. So this is the official new date, the 19th and 20th of June. Career Quest in July. All three of those, the team and Bay mostly is inside doing like all the production stuff now, and the marketing is starting for Prom very, very soon. Get ready for promposals. We're really excited. I think for those of you that are not based in the US, Prom is like the last big dance of high school. It's just like a really, really fun event. You come together with your good friends and have a good time. LAN party is going to be a game style event that we put on. Much more information coming, but really just come together and let's have some fun playing in Decentraland. So that is coming with LAN party. And then Career Quest is just how can we all level up our skills, think about how do we learn more about being a builder, what kind of partnerships people can we bring in around building in Web3, building in virtual worlds. So really, really excited about all of those. And then obviously Art Week, Fright Night, music, and live festival later in this year. But lots more information coming for all of these in the very near future. I did see this in the chat and also wanted to call out one existence and Lastrom did an egg hunt this past weekend. It seemed so fun, and I loved the idea of exploring across all of Decentraland, everyone's lands. I think they said like over 27 people contributed their spaces. So just huge shout out. That's super, super cool. And that's what I think Decentraland does best. Like we didn't organize that at all. And love to see it. And I think it was just really cool to see how you can have multiple creators get together and build something fun across everything. So shout out to them and everyone that contributed to the egg hunt this weekend. And non-event campaigns coming soon. So stay tuned. I don't want to spill anything that's coming from the product side in a few minutes, but lots of exciting stuff, and marketing will obviously be doubling down on that and supporting it in the very near future. So thank you all, and I am passing to Kaze, I believe.
Thanks, Kim. Really exciting updates. From my side, I only have just one really quick one. In March, we kicked off the Creator Academy. I'm pretty sure that most of you already have seen the information in the announcement channel, or you attended the two workshops that were led by Ruston. It's an amazing initiative that we really hope to build knowledge and skill within the community on different topics. We started with wearables creation. We'll also have another workshop in May, more focused on Q&A for people that have some kind of challenges or issues. They would like a bit of help from skilled creators. We'll share a bit more insight on the date. It should be in May, the third Wednesday in May. Similar setup as the previous two workshops, and from there we'll also start mixing those with scene creation using the Creator Hub, the SDK, both community and foundation led. Most likely we'll start doing this bi-weekly because the feedback has been really positive. So stay tuned for more information, and if you have any suggestions, ideas, or any questions, you can always send me a message. So that's me, and passing the ball to Nico.
Yes, thank you, Kase. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you here around again. So let's go with the product updates. So we are at the moment finishing cycle 11. We're going to start cycle 12 next, with releases by the end of May and by the end of June. On cycle 11, we focus on polishing and bug fixing, as I guess you already know. During cycle 12 and probably during the rest of the year, we'll keep working on social features. We still work on polishing and bug fixing, don't worry, but we are also bringing up a few new features that are pretty exciting. We're going to comment on them next. So in cycle 11, we were working on many UX improvements in both the client and the Creator Hub. Also bug fixing in scenes, warehouse, and emotes, and paying some technical and design depth. And there are some fixes in particular that are listed there that were basically requests from some of the creators out here, from Metadodge, Lastrom, Carflower, Dabcraft, Mean Green Dodge, Stony Eye, Dr. Drip, Tiki Fuego, Risk, MetaWolf, Rustan, and many others. So first, thank you for letting us help you on those and for the patience as well. And I know that many of these issues were long overdue, and I'm happy that many of these are out of the way, and we keep working on the other ones that are still present. So about features, we also were able to release some nice features for both, for all the users and also for creators in particular. So I leave it to Olabra and Nico to tackle this part.
Hello, everybody. Okay, thank you. Can you play that? Yeah, so we finally have some time to fix all the profile pictures that are all the way in the chat, on friends, etc. We have integrated this functionality to be able to swap your name as we had in the previous Explorer. So you can either choose from a unique name or a non-unique name, and that will be automatically changed. You can access that by clicking on the pencil in your profile. And we have also added our convenient access to claim your name directly from the Explorer that will open the builders page to do that. Next, please. Also, long-awaited functionality that was missed. So we have reintegrated blocking players. So right now you can click on any player and go to the context menu and click on block. That will automatically... Oh, something happened?
I don't see a presentation anymore. Yeah.
No, me neither.
Same.
Let's give it a moment for Kase. I'm sure he's working on it.
Kipo, I think about what you asked about changing the name color. Yeah, we have that in mind. We want you to be able to customize that. I don't know when we're gonna do it. Okay. So yeah, I was talking about this blocking players. Whenever you block a player, it will remove the visibility of that player from the environment, and also you won't be able to receive their messages in the chat. So you can go to the friend list, and there is a new section there called blocked, and you can unblock it in there. It will restore visibility and messages instantaneously. You won't be able to see the message that he sent before it was blocked, but it will be unblocking the next ones. Next video, please. Also, yeah, we have been working on private conversations. So now you will see that we have a lateral toolbar on the right side of the chat. So you can open conversations with other players. And you will see on the top that we have the Nearby channel. And in this case, I'm talking to a friend here because both of us have this chat open. And you can see that we have different bubbles for DMs rather than for the Nearby messages. But in this case, I have my settings open so I can actually talk to strangers. And if the other player also have that setting open, I will be able to talk to a person that is not my friend. And I can start a conversation with them to add them to a friend or to just ask any question there. As you can see, we are preparing also the ground on this lateral bar for much bigger conversations than just private one-on-ones. Next slide. I think that's one for Nico.
Thanks, Alvaro. How's it going? Hey, everyone. So yeah, I'll present a few of the features that we've been working on for the creator front. As Nico said, several of these have more to do with polishing and bug fixes. So some of them aren't as flashy, but they're quite essential. And I'll start out with the least interesting ones. So next slide, please. So first, there's a bunch of things for the Creator Hub. We've been improving a bunch of different things about the user experience. For example, now whenever you create a new scene, you can choose the name of the new scene. You used to be able to, just create a new scene with an automatic name, and also you can choose a path. That's especially useful if you want to upload your scene to GitHub, for example, and use a particular folder in your machine for that. Next, also, we added a button to refresh the local files that are in the scene. So, for example, you drag in a local file using your OS File Explorer. The Creator Hub wasn't aware of that immediately, and you had to close and open the scene, which was a pain. With this refresh button, that's solved. Also, we added the possibility to skip the login screen whenever you open a preview. And that saves quite a bit of time every time you open preview, because that login screen might be just waiting for you to click the jump into the Decentraland button, which is kind of a pain. Then another thing we changed is that now the right button controls the camera and the left button controls clicking and interacting with things. And this really helps separate having different actions, because it prevents you from being, accidentally dragging things around when you just wanted to change the camera, or vice versa, moving the camera whenever you wanted to drag something around the scene. That was something that we were constantly running into, that you kind of get used to and stop noticing, but it becomes part of your everyday experience and you end up hating it. Another thing we changed is how the gizmo for rotation works. There were a number of uncomfortable behaviors with that we fixed. And also now sound and video is synced with just syncing the entities, as with other things. Like in the past, there was this issue where when you were syncing an entity, you would see the animations, the movements, and everything, but wouldn't hear the sounds of that thing when someone else was interacting with that thing. Now that's no longer the case. Next slide, please. We also improved the publishing flow in the Creator Hub. So now whenever you click publish, you will see that the steps for publishing are now a bit friendlier. So these 3 steps used to say things that were technical jargon that weren't really friendly. Now they're a lot more readable. And more importantly, now you can close this window and open it again. In the past, since this was something that took quite a while to upload, you were definitely not going to just stay on that window forever. So that will, allow you to just come back to that. Another important thing is that now the deployments are more stable than ever. One common problem was that for some reason, any of the servers in the Catalyx network maybe had an issue, and the deployment would just get stuck, and you would have no option except go to the command line. Now there is a more intelligent behavior that retries with a different server if anything fails. Also, whenever the deployment finishes, all of those long processes, you will get a pop-up telling you that the deployment is finished, which is also kind of helpful. Next slide, please. There we go. So next is logs. Now, one thing that has been missing is the ability to see more information from the logs of your scene. Now we are seeing information from the engine, which we weren't before. So a lot of error messages are now surfaced to you. And also the log can now be toggled, as you can see in this video, with a little button. So that makes it easier to find. It used to only be possible to open it with the backtick key, which was a bit of a pain for some people, because in different language keyboards, it wasn't in the same location. It's a lot easier to just have a UI button and open it from there. Next slide, please. Now, this is a bit more flashy to see. So now there's a bunch of new smart items also. There's confetti, there's explosions, fireworks. Also the signposts you see there, those are good old classics from the old builder that we brought back as well. There is a firework. And these smart items are ready to use in the Creator Hub. There's also this crazy spiral, which is if you were around when we did the dead mouse show. This asset was really created back then, and we were using it. There's also game over and you win pop-ups, which are also great for game mechanics. And last but not least, I hope nobody gets epilepsy for a spiral. Last but not least, the next slide is streaming support. This is a really cool feature. So we took what we did in the last cycle, the scene admin, and we expanded it to include some more functionality. So we still have the announcements and the smart item control that we had before, but now also we can control moderation and add people from inside the scene. So we have this screen where you can see who's a moderator and remove them. And more importantly, we have the new streaming section. So when you're playing videos, there's two ways to play videos. One is the old one where you can paste a URL and everyone sees that. You can change the volume, pause it, restart, all of those things. And the other new way that we added is to see the streaming key and server. And now you can just take that information and paste it into OBS. There's me in the real life, fourth wall break. And you can just copy that information into OBS settings or other streaming software as well. And you can hit start streaming. And now whatever I was streaming is projected into the Decentraland. In the scene, I have to click this activate button that you see there. And there, whatever I was streaming on my machine is projected into the scene. It could stretch that cube a bit more. And also you can manage multiple screens, so you can control each screen independently. So there I have two screens showing the same video that is being streamed from OBS. So yeah, no more having to manage SMTP servers or any of that. We're actually using the same infrastructure that we use whenever we do private chat or sharing player information. The backend service that we were using for that also supports video. So we just started taking advantage of that. And now it's possible to also stream into the scene. So yeah, that's what I'm excited about the most. We will be making this feature public in the near future, in the next couple of weeks. And I'm sure that the next one of these meetings that we do, we'll be doing it using this feature. Next slide, please.
So continuing with the cycle that's about to start in the next couple of weeks, we're going to build the following features. So next slide, please. For all the users, we have something that I announced very briefly in the last all hands. I'm not going to share many more details today. If you can go to the next slide, please. It's about the marketplace grades. This was announced initially in January in the manifesto, trying to give grades for users to spend then in the marketplace to buy real items, and yeah, that revenue goes for the creators and for the DAO. And it's coming really soon, during May, probably late May. That's all I'm gonna say. We're working very hard to make this feature really polished, and it's looking very nice so far. The team is doing a great work. So expect more news soon in the next weeks. We're going to make a lot of noise with this feature. That's all I'm gonna say for now. At the same time, we're going to keep working on other stuff. For instance, recently, Kim announced in Discord about the deep link to use the new client. That was something that we were really missing. We were able to ship the current version, which is the one you can see on the left, it works, but it's pretty basic. It's not covering in terms of design most of the use cases. And we're going to basically implement a new design, a new layout for this with more details and a better look and feel. And this will cover all the use cases, like for live events and events that are, that's starting in the future. Also, a deep link for scenes in Gen City and a deep link for worlds. So functionality-wise, is the same with a new, cleaner design. Next, please. Another good feature that I wanted to announce now, we're going to be working this on the next couple of months. It's a referral system. where you basically can invite people to the center, and if they join and they enter the world, you as the referrer, you will get different type of rewards. We're still working on the price exactly, but there's going to be a lot of cool stuff to win. So the idea is that everyone can become an ambassador and let people know the cool stuff that we have going on in the center and get rewards from that. So stay tuned. We'll be coming with more details once we make progress on this nice feature.
Okay, I guess that's me. So in the next cycle, we're gonna be working as well on revamping some of really matching a little bit more of the aesthetics that we wanted to reach with this new version of the Explorer. So we're gonna be working a little bit on reworking the login screen, so it's a little bit more interactable and more attractive. Also, that applies to the next slide, please. On the loading screens, one loading screens to be to give you better information for more useful tips for that time that you're waiting between loads and teleports. Next slide, please. Also a very requested feature, so we can make sure that the sound of the scenes is fade in and fade out whenever you exit or enter a scene, so it feels more natural wherever you are playing music and stuff like that. So yeah, you can hear music a little bit close to the scene without entering it. Next slide. Okay, I don't have cool designs here because these are still prototypes, but in the next cycle, we're gonna be working on integrated voice chat. We discarded the idea that we did in the previous Explorer of having voice chat for the Nearby channel because this was more like a pain that any benefit really. So we're gonna be focusing right now on having one-on-one private conversations. For the time being, you're gonna be able. Well, for the time being, no. Forever, you're only gonna have one conversation at a time. And we're gonna be also integrating new settings into the settings panel for modifying your input on output devices. I'm preparing a little bit the ground for what is coming next that I'm gonna show you in the next slide about group voice. So long-awaited communities, we're gonna be working next on that. So if you have a name, you will be able to create a community that is like a cornerstone for many other things. You can define it either private or public, add places to it. So all the events related to those places will be automatically added. You will be able to invite players to your community. And as a user, you will be able to have a panel on the full screen menu to browse communities to join or to request access, to be able to see their upcoming events, get notifications about them, browse the public photo gallery, and have a specific group chat that is private for that community. And as well, as I mentioned before, we are preparing the ground for something bigger with voice chat and communities together, but let's not get caught in things that we don't know yet when it's gonna be. Okay, next slide. Oh, Nico.
Yeah,
That's
looks like I'm up again. Thanks, Salvador. So yeah, for the creators on the next cycle, let's go to the next slide to start seeing what will come out. So the first thing has to do with emotes, running emotes that are not yet published. So as you know, in the last cycles, we worked to be able to preview wearables that were not yet published in the new Explorer. Emotes turned out to be a bit harder than we expected. There's a very long technical conversation that is very boring. I don't want to get into that, but long story short, it was harder than we expected, and we will be working on that now. And this also affects the scenario where you have scene emotes that are controlled by the scene, and you want to run them while the scene is not yet published. So while you're running it in preview. Right now, that doesn't work in preview, but it does work once the scene is published, which is not a great flow for creators. We want to be able to also run scene emotes while you are trying out the scene locally. So next slide. Also related to scene emotes, we want to provide a collection of default emotes that come out of the box and are ready to use for all creators, so that you don't need to, create these for typical normal interactions in scenes. So a creator of a scene should be able to trigger these things whenever the player interacts with the scene in a certain way. So we'll be able to sit down, pick something up, throw things, push buttons, craft things, etc. So of course today you can do this by crafting your own emotes, and it will still probably be you might still want to do that if you want to have a more specific emote that is more tailored to the exact dimensions of the things you want to pick up or whatever. But we should have a generic generalistic kind of version of these emotes that is easy to use. Next slide, please. And we'll also be spending quite a lot of time improving the Creator Hub. Even though we've improved quite a bunch of things, there's still quite a lot of rough edges. So just a few of the things that we want to do in this cycle, be able to have a check for updates button, because currently whenever there's a new version to install, the whole process is not as transparent as we'd like. And when a new version got installed, it would be great to also be able to read and see what things have been added in this new installation. You don't need to necessarily go into Discord to find out. And with smart items, there's a lot of tiny usability improvements we can also do. For example, we can show a hover description before you add a smart item to a scene, so that you know what it actually does before you drag it in. And having, for example, more basic views for some of the items, which are today more complicated to set up than you might want. Maybe you have to face a whole long scrolling menu of settings when maybe you just, in most cases, only want to set up two things. Next slide. And last thing on my list is controlling day-night cycle. So in the old web client, you were able to, in a world, make a scene be permanently have a permanent skybox that is always nighttime or always daytime or whatever you want. We're going to bring that capability back into the new Explorer. We're going to take that further. We're also going to add that capability to Genesis City scenes, not just worlds. And we're going to provide tools to dynamically change the skybox time as an interactive mechanic. So, for example, in, say, a DJ set, you could make the sun rise on cue in the perfect moment of the DJ set. Or have some kind of a mini game where there's part of the narrative that, time goes by, and so suddenly becomes nighttime after you complete something. And in all of these cases, we'll make sure that we have smooth transitions, like with the fade in, fade out of the music. We want the sun to, move at a, acceptable rate into the new fixed skybox as you enter and leave scenes. So yeah, we want to avoid harsh and awkward lighting changes all of a sudden. And this is kind of a precursor, we believe, to another feature that you might be really excited waiting for. So on on Fashion Week, we unveiled a new feature that we're working on, which is dynamic lights. That, I'm sorry, but we'll have to wait for the next cycle. But we believe that being able to control the night, the time to set the illumination as night mode, is kind of a precursor to be able to control lights, because otherwise you're waiting for the skybox time to switch to nighttime to be able to actually see the lights and appreciate them. So yeah, that's all I have on my list. Off to the AMA.
Awesome. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, everyone. Really exciting and amazing updates. So in case you have any questions, go to the Slido, either scan it with the QR or add the code. I will share the
So yeah, if you have any questions, take on to Slido. The link was just shared on the chat. And if you want, I can start reading the questions. So first question, can you share actual attendee numbers for Fashion Week from this year versus all years prior, given that it is a main attraction, a tentpole event? Kim, I guess this is for you. Or Yemen?
Hello, everyone. This is Yemel. So numbers for Fashion Week this year was around 1.2 thousand active users. The maximum concurrent users was around 150 concurrent users. Regarding fashion weeks, in other years, we didn't have a fashion week last year. Compared with 2023, is way less what we have right now. Like 2023 was around 7,000 users, and but different market, different situation. I think the attendance was similar to a music festival in 2024. So yeah, those are the numbers. Definitely a lot of effort to put together this event, and yeah, even though we make a lot of marketing efforts to bring new people, uh, yeah, a big part of the audience who join is people who already know Decentraland or re-engaging users are already active. We have a big chunk of new users as well.
Awesome. Thanks. I can keep on reading the next questions. So when will the scroll zoom function on the camera be fixed? My wrist's about to give up every time I try to take a photo. Alvaro, maybe for you?
If I can take that one, at least on the for the context, the issue was reported maybe like a week ago.
I'm not sure if Alvaro can speak. It's been heard, but definitely
Cassie is
take note
answering
of
right
this.
now.
Yeah, I can hear.
Sorry.
Mm.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Yeah.
I can. So
I
maybe,
can hear Cassie, yes.
maybe Nico, something on your side. So just wanted to mention that the issue is already tracked on our side. It has a high priority.
Yeah, go ahead, Alvaro. I think we can hear.
What's going on? Nobody hears Cassie.
I hear him. I hear him.
He's talking.
I,
At least someone can hear me because I almost
I
took it
can hear
personally,
you.
you know. But yeah, I guess Kim and Nico are not able to, but the rest of the people can. So I was saying that we tracked the issue. I'm really sorry for the inconvenience. It was reported immediately after people from the community shared that one with us. So I will make sure to provide an ETA to the rest of the community members as soon as I have one, but we were definitely checking this one with priority. And the next question is, any plans to develop a panel for worlds in Genesis Plaza?
Yeah, we definitely had that, the inclusion of worlds in the search results and being able to easily find world there. We ran out of time on the cycle where we were revamping the map, but we have that in the backlog, yes.
Amazing, thank you. The next question is there a new location for quest.decentraland.org to enable users to create quests using the user interface without needing to run the quest creator project themselves?
so for the time being, no. I believe that this quest.central. So there is an initiative by the community. I know that Lastrom has been working on this for the Easter egg hunt, and that turned out to be quite a nice feature. It's not a foundation supported feature though, and we can definitely use it in scenes, but it's not something that we built ourselves. It would be awesome to explore if we can, integrate that better. Yeah, for the time being, there isn't one.
Thank you, Nico. Next question, is there any dynamic coming to Decentraland like weather, clear sky, no clouds, darker night without moon, dark clouds? Maybe something for Alvaro.
Not for the time being right now.
Like controlling the yeah, not dynamic, but controlling the day cycle from the scene. That's coming in the next cycle, right?
Yeah, but that's controlling the time of the within the scene. I think this is more about adding more clouds or modifying the skybox and having more features there.
More like the
Yeah,
weather.
we made some prototypes there with clouds and stuff like that, but yeah, we never planned those ones.
That's a nice idea. Although it's not something you hear from people in the real world, like we are asking for sun and without no clouds.
Yes.
It's the opposite.
To be honest, I would love to have rain, snow, and all that kind of stuff, but it was quite tricky. I think we need to solve some other issues first.
Definitely. Are smart wearables functionality coming back anytime soon? If no, why is it still in the creator documents? If yes, yeah, thank you. I have an answer, but I think Nico would like to jump in on that one, just for more details.
So smart wearables are still not in the near future plan. Something that I believe we need to eventually tackle, but right now, yeah, there's other priorities first. I think what Alvaro shared of, yeah, being able to have voice chat and group chat and all of those things might be more impactful. But yeah, Gemma, anything you want to add to that? Otherwise, yeah, it's not part of the immediate. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that I don't have further comments. Like we are focusing on like social features at the moment. Um, yeah, and there are many things to do first.
Thank you both. When will this? I think we already went over that one with the issue with the slow zoom for the camera, and I think it's not only for the camera, but some other places as well. So I'll mark this one as well. Most of features shown have already existed in browser, just being implemented in client. When and what are a completely new feature, if any?
Well, the streaming feature I shared today, that's a brand new thing. It didn't exist in client. In client, you had to set up your own streaming server, and it was not only a technical big challenge, but also cost money to the person implementing that. And the skybox feature was also only possible on on a world, and it was a fixed skybox, so you couldn't change it dynamically. So here we're also including a couple of extensions to that feature to make it even more powerful. I'd say the next big thing coming that is not a feature on the web client is dynamic lights. That will be on the next cycle. That will be a big deal. But also, by the way, there's a couple of features that are also already present, which are not there on the web client. For example, the camera, blocking player movement, and like a few properties of the UI, and there's a number of other things as well.
Also, badges, the
Marketplace,
mini.
yeah, marketplace credits coming up.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
announced
referral.
communities wasn't there. We never were able to do a one-on-one private conversation on voice chat. So there is plenty of new stuff.
And next one is for Nico. Which mic does Nico have?
People seem to be obsessed with my voice for some reason. It's just a Sony noise canceling headphone. Nothing too fancy.
When do we get the Nico
ASMR.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of tutorials on YouTube. You can put that on loop if you want. That helps you sleep.
Will LiveKit automatically scale when streaming video to handle more concurrent users? Will chat scene performance be affected while streaming a video?
That is a great question. So far, the tests we've done were with a limited number of players. We're planning a larger test in the next couple of days, and we'll see how that goes. In theory, it should scale well. I don't see why it would be a big deal. At least within, a reasonable number of players, we'll see where the limits are. Probably there are limits to that, but they'll probably be quite significant. But yeah, the bottom line, we won't know until we test the big numbers.
Next one, Decentraland, the old client had an animation when you're changing variables like spawning blue cubes. Is there in development animation for variables change for the new client?
I can take that. Not right now in the upcoming cycle, but we really want to do it. So yeah, I cannot promise any dates at the moment, but probably we're not too far from that. We would like to add more animations there and in many other places.
Thanks, Nico. When will developers have access to locomotion controls?
This is almost ready from the point of view of the Explorer. We need to build all the layer that connects to the SDK and the protocol. But yeah, we have that. We don't have that in the next cycle. We have that in the roadmap at some point, but I cannot give you a date.
Yeah, we need to define well the exact protocol definition that we want and what properties exactly to change, and also
Yeah.
agree with the protocol squad who's building the alternative implementations so that we define things that are universal. Definitely something we want to do. Not in the short-term plans, but will happen for sure.
Thanks, Bolt. Decentraland is making great strides forward. How much runway time does the Decentraland Foundation have to continue operations and improvements at its current rate? I guess that's for Yamo.
Yeah, well, without selling any mana, we have like more than 2 years of runway, a little bit less than 3 years, and we have a bunch of mana as well. So the sustainability of Decentraland Foundation is very at the strong position.
Awesome. Thanks for the transparency. And I think the last question for the time being, at least, is there in development animation and sound effect for teleportation to make a transition to the loading screen and transition to appearance after you got the 100%?
Yeah, probably same answer as before. Once we introduce the animations for teleporting, we can consider adding sounds. We'll see.
Thank you, Nico. We got one, two more. With the walking animation of Avatar will be updated anytime soon.
No.
I think that wouldn't be that hard to do, just updating the animation, but not in the plans. We have been discussing about having contextual animations for the avatar, like if you are away from keyboard or if you are browsing the map of your setting. Also adding default animations for scene creators that enable the avatar to sit, that kind of stuff. But the like locomotion basic animations, the moment, not in the roadmap. I think people really want to do it, maybe we can do it as well. We'll see.
Are there plans to have a head tilt hand inverse kinematics shown to other players be server side?
Mm, I'm not sure that we have it in the roadmap. But it will be great to have like complete syncing between the players. Like if your avatar is watching towards a direction, you can see it as well. That would require some few protocol changes though.
Yeah, I think that's the main reason why we didn't do it. We need to squeeze that data through Likekit. But yeah, definitely will be a great feature. Was the original intention though?
And the last one, any developments on NPC avatar with AI voice models?
So there are initiatives from the community. I know that Mean Green Dodge, for example, did the scene with Spunstron, that it's not an NPC per se, but it actually chats with you, and yeah, that actually works amazingly. There are other scenes that use also AI models, but don't necessarily have voice chat being sounded into the scene, but it can definitely be implemented. As a foundation native feature, we haven't explored doing this yet, but it definitely is possible to build this kind of content with the tools that are provided, even though it is a fairly advanced build to make.
Is VR still coming in 2025?
Sorry, just was eating something. Well, I haven't played with a date for VR, but an extra team is to reduce the memory. So that's the path we need to walk if you want to deploy on mobile and also like VR Quest. Except maybe PCR is available earlier down the road, but I want to continue optimizing the client and lower the requirements to run it to have it in next year in VR or mobile. That's the goal.
Thanks, Emo. And I think we went through all the questions, and we're kind of on time. Does anyone has any last questions that you would like to ask the foundation? I will take that as a no. So thank you everyone for the time. Thank you for joining. I really love to see all of you participating in the all hands as well as in World in the DAO HQ. Harmony, congrats on the Discord Nitro reward and thanks for joining the community meet. As promised, I will send the reward after the meet. If anyone has any other questions, suggestions, or issues, as usual, just send us a message in Discord. We will make sure to check it out and share with the team. And that's it. Thanks, everyone. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I'll see you in 2 months on the next Community All Hands.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.